Now, one of the things you're really focused on is trying to extend human life. How much progress have you actually made there?
This sounds very mad scientist, as if I have like a garage where I have like bubbling beakers, and it isn't so much about extending life. It's sort of like if you set the goal, like we want to land on the moon, but you start by saying, but we can't land on the moon. Well, then you'll probably never get there. And so the idea of extending life is more about, can we live vigorous, healthy lives, get more life out of our years, and more years out of life.
In terms of the actual progress that you've made, what have you made? Like, where are you?
Yeah, I guess I would say I don't make progress. We invest in companies that do the work. One level, we're making great progress. We're able to develop diagnostics now. So the Human Genome Project took 10 years and $4 or $5 billion to sequence one genome. Now you can do that in an hour on a machine that fits on this table. Now we can look at the genome and find places where we see errors. Well, the diagnostic comes first, and the therapies come after that. And so now we're moving to a place where companies like Editas, a company we invested in, public company now, it's a CRISPR gene editing technology. And that may not mean something to a lot of people, but 5 years ago, the idea of that company was hard to fathom, that could be a company. And I think things will move very quickly now, I hope so, in a way that we'll have treatments to things that seemed untreatable before.
So let's take Alzheimer's, for example. There have been 100 attempts to develop an Alzheimer's treatment since 1998, and all of them have failed.
Right.
At the same time, a successful treatment could be huge. Where do you see the breakthrough happening in age-related disease?
There are people who are spending their entire careers moving actual molecules and working in labs to develop treatments for something that has been untreatable. And that'll be a win for humanity when that happens. We have an understanding of how Alzheimer's develops and how all neurodegenerative conditions come about that 15, 20 years ago, when I was a neuroscience student, it didn't exist. It wasn't even in the books. And now we have tools to peer inside even living brains. I mean, it was only 1930 that we had no antibiotics. You get a disease, you die. And then suddenly you get a disease and you take a pill and you live. Well, that's like kind of a miracle.